Welcome back to Shib Planet, everyone. This is Ace. Today we're going to talk about a huge announcement which came about today. As most of you have known, Shytoshi, one of the lead developers, released a comprehensive outline of Phase 2, the Phase 2 initiative of the Shiba Inu ecosystem, and that has had a lot of implications on the price and the confidence in general of the Shiba Inu community. So today we're going to touch on that, and the key points to note are going to be he spoke a lot about the additional utility coming to a number of the ecosystem tokens, most notably Leash, Bone, and he talked a lot about a little bit towards the end about burns being potentially implemented for Shib. So a lot of you who've been asking for that, there may be some time when you can get to see some burns come through. And he speaks a bit about Shibarium and the stable coin, which is going to be coming up. Okay, so without further ado, let's see where we can start off. I'm just going to quickly jump to the markets at the moment. We're trading at 6500 Satoshi units, which is a significant jump from recent. A lot of people have been concerned about the price action, and I believe the recent spike, the recent jump which we've just experienced, is a direct result of the announcement, this little spike here, the announcement which has come about. So some of you may be wondering, so exactly what brought this about? Well, recently, I'll just read what about 24 hours prior to the announcement, Satoshi on the Discord server, he wrote this. I don't discuss price, but I sure don't like it. It seems like the fudders from exchanges are trying to convince people we are going to rob everyone, and other attacks have made people think we aren't working on exactly what we said. If you've seen my videos in the past, you've noticed that I've once mentioned that the world of decentralized finance is highly competitive. So there are targeted, whether you believe it or not, there are targeted campaigns out there which are out to discredit the efforts and to erode away the efforts which the Shiba Inu team has made to try and build value and confidence into the ecosystem. As a result, Satoshi has ultimately decided to release more detailed plans of just to give confidence to the community. It goes on to say that, you know, he says here, it seems like I need to fully explain the plan and we will see what happens next then. So with that said, let's jump right to it, guys. Cool. So on his Medium article, he outlines Shiba Inu Phase 2. So I'm going to try and read through it as fast as possible, and we're just going to touch through a few of the points, and if we can do a few simulations here and there, I suppose we'll have a go at that. So basically, in here, he starts off with an introduction, and he talks about Shiba Independence Day and how we've come about since Shiba Swap launched. And so I won't read through much of that. And he goes on to say here, but before I move on to the plans set by Ryoshi and how we've began to complete them, let me first give you an update on ShibaSwap. So the first section gives us an update on ShibaSwap. So he speaks a little bit about the ShibaSwap returns here and how some of we are probably going to expect returns on a bi-weekly basis. The way which they were doing it before, I get the impression that it was very labor intensive, and so it wasn't particularly efficient for them. So we might expect bi-weekly returns distribution. So that's probably a space for us to watch. And then he spoke about Shiba swap pairs. Now, as you know, for those who use the dig function, there are liquidity pairs which are provided. There's been some updates to that at the moment, and this is quite common for any decentralized function platform. They do shift around their pairs just to remain competitive. In this one here, the Shib ETH pair has been the allocation points have been upgraded from 500 to 700. The Leash ETH pair has been upgraded from 900 to 700. And most notably, Leash and Bone here has been updated as well. So you're going to see throughout this document, there's a lot of focus on Leash. A lot of people have been asking about what is the use case of Leash and what is what sort of benefit are Leash holders going to get. This article addresses a lot of that actually at the moment. As you can see, that's a big jump from 700 to 900. for the Leash ETH pair, and there's been a drop in AP allocation for a number of the meme-based pairs. So as a result, myself personally, I've probably pulled out of a lot of my pairs because I've reached my, some of my goals. As you know, most of you guys know, I use my calculator to run a few predictions. This is my current portfolio at the moment. I've got about this much in bone, a similar amount in Shib, and I've recently been increasing my position in Leash. My personal goal has been to get one Leash, and yesterday the price was trading at about close to 1,000, which is probably one of the lowest I've seen it in a very long time. So I did take that opportunity to get as close as I can to one Leash, and you're going to see that Leash is going to start jumping up. Less than 24 hours ago, it was 1,000. Now it's already bumped up to 1.3. I'll speak more about the power of Leash a little bit later. Let's head back to the article. Okay, so he speaks on a little bit about that, and we'll just jump on to the next. The next phase, he speaks about Doggy DAO. Doggy DAO, this is the decentralized automated organization. I think that's the acronym of it. And basically, a Doggy DAO, this is the mechanism with which decentralized platforms such as ShibaSwap and any of the other swaps, Uniswap and SushiSwap, they have mechanisms where the community can set proposals and vote proposals which will influence the direction of the project. And in this case, he's even given us a link here to pretty much what it's going to look like. So I'll click on this. I'll see where that takes us. It's on a temporary facility called snapshot.org, and this is pretty much where people can set proposals. Like if you go to proposals, I think it gives you an option to, well, if you go to new proposals here, you can type whatever you like to set a proposal, and then you can set questions. For example, yes or no, and once you publish that, then it'll go into a big sort of section where the community can vote. But it's interesting to note that you will need, it looks like there's a minimum of, it says here, the Shib army members who are holding 30k or more bone will be able to submit new token proposals via this swap facility here. It's important to note that this is just this is in its partial phase. This is the first how they're implementing it at the moment. We don't know what it'll be like when it's fully commissioned. And for those of you who don't know, ShibaSwap is a fork of SushiSwap, which means it's a virtual copy or a clone of SushiSwap in many regards. I quickly went to SushiSwap just to show you how this voting mechanism operates on another platform. This is SushiSwap. So if you head to Docs, for example, and then you scroll to voting, that exact same link here is snapshot.org, but for sushi, and you're going to see they've fleshed out this is where they do their voting and their proposals. Here are some of the proposals. Can you see it's pretty much the same because it's on the same sort of website, snapshot.org. And here you can put your proposals in the same way. So this is how it's been successfully working on other platforms. I could show you the SushiSwap one already, but I've done another video in the past where I've done ShibaSwap versus other swaps. So if you want to see a lot about the decentralized community which you've just entered, here I put together ShibaSwap versus Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and SushiSwap, and I do a small review on that. So if you guys wanted to have a look at that, you could certainly check that out, and we'll just keep going. And yeah, okay, so I think we can. That's a bit more about it. It says here that it should be noted that every new token which is listed on our woofable pools will either be required to pay a listing fee paid in Leash. So basically that means anytime other platforms or other tokens want to have be listed as a woofable, in the woofable routines, they have to pay in Leash. So that's an additional use case for Leash, and hence why people are stocking up on Leash. Remember, 24 hours ago, Leash was at its close to its all-time low. Let me see if I can see on the price there. Leash at the moment is trading at it's jumped up 13%. So the best time for you to have gotten Leash literally was yesterday, when it was, and you see it's already jumping up right in front of our eyes. Leash is one of those tokens which it is highly volatile because of its circulating supply. I'll give you a quick example. Right now we can see that's roughly the price, and this is how much Leash I currently have. It will not take long for Leash to double. So if I was to double, if it let's say were to double the market cap, and that's not a big jump for Leash, to be honest. That it's suddenly my investment is now one like 2.4, and we know it did have an all-time high of over 4,000, even close to 5,000. So if it reaches that again, as you can see, like I think I put in less than 1,000 in total, like dollar cost averaging. That's how much it would be, and at the rate that it's growing, with more people getting confidence in Leash, this is pretty much where it's sort of headed in my view. And that's one of the reasons, the powerful things about the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Some people have spoken why, like what's the use of it, and the use of a Shiba Inu ecosystem is that it allows you to diversify. Within one ecosystem, you can diversify your assets so that when one starts doing well, or when one is not doing well, your overall position is sort of over recovered. So it's a common trait or tactic in investing in general, whether it's in stocks or in crypto, to be able to diversify your assets, and we get to do that in one ecosystem. And yeah, I think we can carry on with that. Okay, I'll just head over to what we have here. Okay, Wolf Map Phase 2. Okay, it says here to make ShibaSwap ecosystem grow and meet its full potential, we're implementing Phase 2. So basically, Phase 2 is a phase which was initiated by Ryoshi. In my previous video, I talked about, I actually went into detail. Actually, I found this quite interesting that if you guys have been watching my video, there's a video which I put here. It said exactly what to expect after the Shiba Inu liquidity event. So I published this video pretty much the day after the liquidity event ended, and pretty much everything which Shytoshi is mentioning here, we already discussed in all of this. So none of it is technically new. So if people had just read around, there's really no there probably wasn't that much of a need to try and put out FUD, but not a lot of people read the information which is out there, so I suppose it's a good thing that Shytoshi put this out there. So ShibaSwap has been launched already, so that's one part of Phase 2. Then the next big thing is Shibarium, which is Shibarium is Shiba Inu's own blockchain. Our team has begun working with our friends at XFund to complete this project. So basically, all here, they've already engaged with some professionals in building Shiba Inu's own blockchain. This is a really, really, really big deal, guys, because as you know, we currently sit on the Ethereum blockchain because we're an ERC token, ERC20 token, but with Shibarium being developed, we'll finally have our very own blockchain. And L2, that's just short for layer 2. It's just an additional layer on which lies on top of Ethereum, and it like typically L2 blockchains, they are faster, they're more efficient, and they have cheaper transaction fees. So all of this is coming to the ecosystem. One of the biggest complaints a lot of people tend to have about ShibaSwap are the fees. Now, fees have nothing to do with ShibaSwap, but they have everything to do with the Ethereum network, which we are built on. It's actually, it affects all decentralized platforms. But one answer we're bringing to that is actually getting our very own blockchain. So that's going to be huge in the future, as potentially it means that we're going to have considerably lower transaction fees and higher like speed. Cool. And he goes on to speak about that, and it also says that it should be noted that Ryoshi saw Bone as the native token to Shibarium, so that's some additional use case for Bone. That's as you know, we have an ecosystem. Each of these has a function. We've begun talking about some of the functions of Leash being a fee for listing. So gradually, the price of Leash is going to start increasing, and Bone it's a governance token. It's a really good store of value. It's a token which is currently being minted, and it's earned as a reward. And now we know that it's going to be the native token for Shibarium. So this is adding additional use case to or additional utility to Bone. So over time, as the community gets more knowledge on DeFi, the prices of these are going to continue to increase in my view. So let's just see. And then here we have here Shi. So for those of you who don't know Shi, this one is very interesting. This is a stable coin. It says here the global exchange of value Shi pegs to 1 cent and allows for plebs to have a fully decentralized token which can be used for exchanging goods without a concern of the change in value day to day or even minute to minute. So basically, Shi is a stable coin. This was the plan from the beginning. And if I was to respond to some people who say that, you know, where all these new tokens coming from, they're not coming from anywhere. That has always been the plan. If you even opened the wolf paper, the very first page shows at the very least 3 tokens. These are flagship tokens. So the intent has always been to have these there because it's an ecosystem of interrelated tokens, and I'm going to do my best to try and show you how Shi is going to fit in. So Shi is a stable coin. What is a stable coin? Guys, a stable coin, yes, stable coins are cryptocurrencies that attempt to peg their market value to some external reference. And stable coins, they're usually pegged to a currency like the US. If I was to go here, I'm going to quickly go to coin market cap and show you what I'm sure most of you already know. Stable coins are basically pegged at $1. They never change. And they're a really good store of value. And most people, when they trade, when they put their gains, they shift their gains into a stable coin, so that in the event that a market drops, that they can keep their gains. So there's one stable coin there. There's another coin, a USDC. This one here, it's typically $1, and I'll try to see if we can find any other stable coins. I think those are the top in the top 30. Oh, here's another one here, DAI. So in the top 30, there's 3 stable coins. There's DAI, there's USDC, and there's USD. Yeah, here's USDC and Tether, and they're stable coins. So now it looks like we are going to have our own stable coin. Now, this is one of the big things in cryptocurrency. It's one of the most sought after things to be able to get a reliable stablecoin. So it'll be very interesting to see how we're going to ultimately pull this off. So what does this mean for us in our portfolios? This to me is very good news, because if you have a look here, this is my current portfolio. Once we get Shi, as you know, cryptocurrencies are very volatile. If, for example, let's just say here's my Shib. If, for example, the price of Shib goes up, let's say triples, because of a bunch of news, and we now have a market cap of 7 billion. I now have 7,000 there, right? See, okay, I now have 7,000. Actually, where am I? This is Bone, sorry. I now would have 7,000, but previously I had 2,000. So that difference, that 5,000, I could that gain, if I wanted, I could take that 5,000 out and then put it into the stable coin. And my portfolio balance will remain the same, but I would have saved the gains which I've made, so that in the event that a crash happens, let's just say any sort of crash happens, and Shib, ultimately like loses value, I've stored my gains, And that's the purpose of stablecoins. It already happens out there in the broader market, but we will have a stablecoin, and stablecoins, they don't change in value. Let me see if I can illustrate what a stablecoin would look like. This, as you know, this is Leash. That's the current price. Let's magically transform it into a stablecoin. Okay, I'm going to. That's one of the reasons I like this calculator. It helps us to do so much more than just predict the future. Okay, I'm going to peg it to $1. So now when I do this, if Leash, so now we've created our stable coin, and I'm just going to adjust the formula so that it'll always be $1. So this means that anytime any transaction happens, let's just say someone wants to buy, I don't know, $10 billion worth of Leash, the price remains $1. That because how stable coins work is the algorithm initiates an automatic buy or sell in order to keep the price there. So no matter what we put here, we could put any number, the price will always remain at $1. So that's how stable coins work in general. So in theory, but in theory, in theory that's how it works. In reality, they have to be backed by something. Usually they have to be extremely liquid, or they have to be backed by cash or other sort of financial instruments. So it'll be interesting to see how that works, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. So all of this is going to be adding confidence to our ecosystem, particularly when the next bull run takes place. Cool. So Shibarium, the next thing is about the Shibarium financial ecosystem. He talks a little bit about that, but he says that this requires a completed Shibarium, so we don't really get much detail into that. Then there's Shibicon. Shibicon is basically a convention for developers. I think I found a link somewhere about Shibicon. About DevCon. So anyway, DevCon is an Ethereum conference for developers, and it appears they might be wanting to send, well, Shytoshi might be going there, so that'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. And the last section, basically, he pretty much talks about ShibaNet. So this is basically it says here, a financial institution is only as good as the consumers and businesses that utilize their financial instruments. Countries have GDP, and since Shib is a decentralized force, a methodology to collect, trade, buy, and sell in a fully decentralized manner is needed. So, basically, what they're building is a platform where people can buy and sell and trade NFTs, and you could probably have a read of that for yourself. It's quite interesting, and she will be one of the trading mediums which people will have, and that's quite an interesting space. I have not read that much into NFTs, so this will probably make quite an interesting read, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm just going to scroll towards the end. The bit which a lot of people will be interested in is, he says here, best of all, the team is investigating ways to implement SHIB burns into the system to change the attributes of your purchased NFT. So there you go. In this case, it looks like they're investigating ways to implement SHIB burns. So a lot of people have been asking for burns, and burns, as you know, are a way to reduce the circulating supply of any cryptocurrency, and a lot of people have been calling for this. So if and when this gets implemented, you're probably going to start seeing a gradual reduction in the burns in the circulating supply, and ultimately the price of Shiba Inu. So that's just in a nutshell what has been said. I do encourage you to read through it yourselves, and and we thank Shytoshi for sending that out. He concludes by saying, I hope this article destroys the FUD surrounding SHIB and helps the community realize exactly what we are building and our evolution from a meme token to a truly decentralized ecosystem. And that's very true. For the past couple of weeks, a lot of people have been complaining, even though the information has been already out there, but it was good at least that Shytoshi has brought this sort of information out, and it has definitely reflected in the price. We've jumped up, it's saying here 3% within the last 24 hours. We were at a top of 671, and hopefully that trend will continue to climb across all our ecosystem tokens. Think that is all I wanted to say for now. I've got a couple of other videos which I'll bring out. I just wanted to give you an update on that one. So thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you have a good day. Peace.